How did I create these awesome light effects, you ask? Well, this video is just about that. The secret tool is a spotlight projector. Today I will show you Nanlite Forza Projector, the PJ-FMM 19. We will cover what this thing is, what is it for, should you get one, and of course the pros and cons, as well as some unique use cases that will make your creative imagination crave for it. So make sure to watch the full video, but first, intro. What's up everyone, Peter here. Today I am going to tell you why I think a spotlight projector is one of the most versatile tools that a creator can have in their kit. So let's start by talking about what this thing is. For those who don't know what a spotlight projector mount is. It is around 300 and 600 euros price range, and the known brands offer it with the Gobos mount. The particular product we are going to talk about today is Nanlite's projection attachment, and I'll be using it with the Nanlite Forza 150. I have a dedicated review on it. I will link it at the end of the video and in the description under the like button, which by the way you could smash if you like this video so far. So these are like LiCo lights or LiCo mounts, which in layman's terms is like adding camera lens to your light. What it does is allowing you to focus the light in various different ways. One important note here is that the projectors are measured in degrees. Mine here is 19 degree, but you could get a larger one like 36 degree one as well. The higher the number, the wider the light is going to be. Like a camera lens, you can focus these lenses, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, since these fixtures also have some really cool other hacks under their sleeves. For one, there is these blades all the way around the projector that you can use to cut, shape and control the light. This is super useful when you want to add an extra spotlight to a particular area. For example, when I am doing product videography, I have been wishing for a way to highlight the labels. Without a spotlight projector, it is nearly impossible, and you have to do it in post by masking, but you will lose some quality. With this, you can create the effect you want with ease. The next addition is something called Gobos, these weird looking plates that you can slot into the spotlight and basically project just about anything you can think of onto a wall or your set. Now that we've covered the basic features and the benefits, we'll talk about the creative things that you can do with this, but before that, let's talk about the spotlight mount and what's in the box. It comes with a professional case with dividers. On top of the projector you will find the Gobos, the Gobo holder and other light shapers, and pretty much that's it. In terms of build quality, this thing is rigid. It uses a standard Gobos mount, which is awesome since it allows you to use it with not only Nanlite lights but other Gobos mount lights as well. It has its own yoke system, so just like with a large telephoto lens, you will mount the projector and not the light or the camera with the case of a telephoto lens. So you essentially just hang the light off the back, and it has a sturdy brake handle setup, which really is strong, and it's gonna work just fine with heavier lights and weird angles as well. There is a knob on the front of the spotlight which serves as a focusing lock. You just have to loosen it and you will be able to change the focus of this light by simply grabbing the lens and pulling it forward and backward. Also, you can remove the lens completely by simply undoing and removing the knob. In the front you will see the attachment mount for filters, where you can put different gels as well as whatever you wish. This will allow you to change color, temperature and color itself. But the real fun happens in the back of the projector. Here you find blades that enable you to shape the lights in any kind of way. On top of that you will find the Gobos slots, where you can just slide in your Gobos and create these awesome and oftentimes weird shapes. And pretty much that's it about the projector itself. Let's stop for a second and let me ask you this. Have you ever used a projector, or based on what you've seen, where would you leverage it the most? Please share your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to start a conversation. And now let me show you how to use it in real life and before mentioned creative ways. So just to do so, I will give you some ideas. First thing you want to do is start playing with the light and adjust the focus of it by sliding the knob. Let's say we want to get a nice sharp line. Something like that. Now we can decide what shape we want to create, which is one of the coolest features that really sells this nifty thing instantly, at least in my opinion. So you do this by cutting the circles with the blades. Let's say we want to have a square. One thing to note here is that the wider the degree is the more bows you get. This is just something to keep in mind. By the way, this is why I went with the narrow degree of 19. Let's spend a minute on the operation of the blades. You have these handles here on all the sides, and the tricky thing is that it's the opposite of what you would think when it comes to operation. So when I push the top knob down, it actually is pushing it up from the bottom. By the way, you can also rotate the handle so you can get super creative. For example, you can create a really fine laser sharp lines which look awesome with some haze. I think that would be incredible. And now let's talk about my other favorite feature, which is using gobos. As I mentioned, you have this gobo holder that you can just slide out, stick the selected gobo in and slide it in back. This metal thing is simple to use. One thing to mention here, due to the actual length of the projector, the gobos need to be slid in upside down, but this is how you will get the normal result. So this is the part where all the things come together. Here we have a nice tree kind of gobo, and of course when it is sharp it looks kind of funky, but when you combine the focus with the gobos and make it all blurry and soft, I think that's when it works the best. And say you want to have this shadow background effect going on in the whole setup, and you will look kind of like the sun is shining through a branch. Now let's check the gobos. Like with this one we can add the grid like a blind style, or here is this one which looks like a fireball, but if you defocus it, it again gives you a unique shape of shadows and spotlight. So now you have an idea, but of course you can get additional gobos on top of that. You can actually design your own ones as well. I tell you how in a minute, but just imagine you have a client work and you want to use their logo or design elements in the shots. You could have made just a custom gobo and their brand and use it the same way. So how you can do that? There are websites that allow you to custom design or upload your own designs, and they will create a gobo for you. The only important thing here is that you need to know the size of the gobo. With Nanlite, the gobo frame is M or 66mm, but you can also use 78mm as well. So yeah, gobos. Love them for allowing me to get super creative. Now we are going to talk about uses for this spotlight other than shapes and gobos. The limit is your imagination, since you can create really cool visual effects and more, from things like this laser sharp line to using it as a diffuser. So here, I want to light a part of a room. Many of us do this all the time, bouncing our light from the ceiling, right? If you do this too, show it by giving some love by smashing the like button. Okay, but what if I only want to bounce the light off a particular area? This is where the projector can turn anything into a light source. So without it, this is a light just hitting the ceiling from an angle. Of course, you can get a nice oval light source spilling down onto your scene, but when you want to focus it, you can get full control with the projector. Take the blades and just slide them to a certain area on the ceiling as the light source, for example like this, which proves my point that it really can turn anything into a bounce source and add an extra diffusion. Or using the same technique, you can say have a foam board or other diffuser. You can shape the light exactly to that form and use it in so many scenarios, even for key light. I do hope I could show you lots of different uses for this thing, so what we have left with before we say goodbye is my final thoughts and pros and cons, all of that fun stuff. This thing quickly became one of my favorite new accessories. On the con side, there is only one thing. Of course, it has to handle a lot of heat, and obviously there is this giant piece of glass that adds quite some weight, but would be great if it were lighter. Now the pros are everything we talked about in this video. If you want to use Gobos, I'd recommend getting a narrow degree version like the Nanlite, which is 90 degrees. Just keep in mind that you are gonna have to have that light really far away to get wider shots. But if you plan to use this for product videos, you won't need that. On the other hand, if you want to use them for background lighting, I think you will put them further anyway. So at the end of the day, for the price range of 300-600 euros, I think this is a solid investment, especially if you are going to do a lot of product videos or interviews where you want spotlights or either big lighting setups with tons of control. If I had to sum it up with one word, that would be control. This is exactly what this light is all about. Control. Being able to perfectly cut and bounce off exact shapes, and also the gobos are fun features that can add to your set if you want to mix things up. Or, of course, if you are just looking for your first light modifier and just a nice soft light, you might want to get your hands on a large softbox. This is a more specific tool, but one that I think gives you tons of options. Now, before we wrap up this review, I would like to thank Nanlite for sending it out for a review. It really is a dream come true for me. Links are in the description under the like button, which, by the way, you could smash if you like this video. Other than that, I would like to show you some other cool light sources that you can use to shape lights or use as key lights. I know it is a hard decision, so why don't you check out my review on this flexible LED light and these RGB tubes as well. Comment, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next video, maybe in these ones. Click. Bye.